This is a folk tale of Meghalaya. The folk tale is part of the Khasi folk tales unit, and the story source is from the Folk Tales of the Khasis by K.U. Raffi. The title of this folk tale is Why the Goat Lives with Mankind. In early times, the goat lived in the jungle, leading a free and independent life. Like all the other animals, the following story gives an account of their flight from the animals to make them dwelling with man. One fine spring day, when the young leaves were sprouting on the forest trees, Kablang, the goat, went out in search of food. Her appetite was sharpened by the delicious smell of the spring, which filled the air and the forest. So, not being satisfied with grass, she began to pluck the green leaves from a bush. While she was busy plucking and eating, she was startled to hear the deep growl of the tiger close beside her. The tiger asked her angrily, "What are you doing there?" Kablang was so upset by this sudden interruption and in such fear of being big and ferocious, she began to tremble from head to toe, so that even her beard shook violently, and she hardly knew what she was doing or saying. In a fright, she quavered, "I am eating kla," instead of saying, "I am eating sla." Now, kla meant a tiger and sla meant leaf. So instead of saying, "I am eating sla," the goat said, "I am eating kla, a tiger." The tiger took this answer for insolence and became very angry. He was preparing to spring upon her when he caught sight of her shaking beard, which appeared to him like the tuft of a hair on a warrior's lance when it is lifted against an enemy. Looking at the shaking beard, he thought that Kablang must be some powerful and savage beast able to attack him, and he ran away from her terror. Now Kablang, having an ungrateful heart, instead of being thankful for her deliverance, grew discontent with her lot and began to grumble because she had not been endowed with the strength attributed to her by the tiger, and she got disappointed. One day, in her wanderings, she climbed to the top of an overhanging cliff, and there she lay down to chew the cud, and as usual to dwell on her grievances. It happened that the tiger was again prowling in the same vicinity. But when he saw the goat approaching, he fled in fear and hid himself under the very cliff onto which she had climbed. There he lay very still for fear of betraying his presence to the goat, for he was still under the delusion that she was a formidable and mighty animal. Kablang, all unconscious of her presence, began to grumble aloud, saying, "I am the poorest and the weakest of all beasts. Without any means of defense or strength to withstand an attack, I have neither tusk nor claws to make an enemy fear me. It is true that the tiger once ran away from me because he mistook my beard for a sign of strength. But if he had only known the truth, he would have killed me on that instant. For even a small dog could kill me if he clutched me by the throat." The tiger beneath the rock was listening to every word, and as he listened, his wrath was greatly kindled to find that he had disgraced himself by running away from such a weak creature, and he determined now to avenge himself for that humiliation. He crept stealthily from his hiding place, and Kablang was clutched by the throat and killed. In order to restore his prestige, the tiger proclaimed far and wide how he had captured and killed the goat, and after that, other tigers and savage beasts began to hunt the goats, and there followed such a general slaughter of goats that they were nearly exterminated. Driven to great extremity, the few remaining goats held a tribal council to consider how to save themselves from the onslaughts of the tigers. But finding themselves powerless to offer any resistance, they determined to ask help to mankind for protection. When the goats came to the mankind, man said that he could not come to the jungle to defend them, but instead they must come and live in his village if they wished to be protected by him. So the goats ran away from the jungle forever and came to live with mankind.